How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? As you get ready to listen to this upcoming episode from the Playmakerz Blog Podcast, I just want to let you know that you too can get into the podcast journey. It's very simple. It's very easy. All you got to do is jump on Anchor, the one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcast. It is 100% free and easy to use. And even with Anchor, you can get great sponsors who want to advertise your podcast. That means you can get paid for your podcast right away from Jump Street. So in fact, reading this ad is what I'm doing right now. So if you had the time, if you had the will and determination and the dream to be a podcaster, what you waiting for? Jump on it. Anchor is the way to go. You ready? I'm ready. The Playmakerz Bar Podcast present Hoops Talk, hosted by Darnell, the Playmaker Salins. NBA, college basketball, playoffs, March Madness. No matter what, we talking hoops, man. Let's get it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Tuesday's edition of Hoops Talk. You know, from the Playmakerz Bar Podcast. Your host down there, the Playmaker Salins, here in Jacksonville, Florida. And I must say, we have crowned a national champion. We crowned a national champion last night, and by golly, it was a dominating performance. But let me recap what took place in the Final Four first, because I previewed the Final Four the last time I talked to y'all. But let's give a good recap of what took place in the Final Four. Game 1, we had Baylor, who came out of the South region, against Houston, who came out of the Midwest region. And Houston did not have any answers for Baylor. No matter what Houston tried to do, Baylor had an answer for him. This is why I came to term in, and it's just new. The fact that Baylor got a 1 seed gave them opportunity to get themselves back in rhythm. And that's what took place. They got themselves back in rhythm against Hartford. They carried that momentum all the way down to the Final Four against Houston. And they just gave Houston all types of problems. Houston had no answer whatsoever. They defeated Houston 78-59. I mean, Butler, 17 points, 6 of 9 from the field. He was great. I mean, Devon Mitchell had 11 assists, and you just can't. This team is so balanced. It's so balanced. Like, anybody can get off in any given day for Baylor, and you know, it's the first time in like 45 years Baylor made it to the national championship game. So Baylor did their thing in Houston. It was just rough. It was just rough. And then in the second game of that night, we had the 11 seed UCLA coming out of the East region against the West region top seed overall, best team in college basketball, the Gonzaga Bulldogs. Game of the tournament. UCLA would not back down. They gave Gonzaga all they can handle. And I mean, Jalen Suggs. After UCLA tied the game at 90, with 3.3 seconds left from half court, Jalen Suggs baked in the game winner, sending the Bulldogs to the national championship game. I mean, what a game. Juzang, 29 points. You can't say enough about Juzang. Juzang has been balling throughout the whole tournament. He has done well. But, you know, Drew Times, 25 points. Salen's coming alive in the second half and hitting the game winner. I mean, it's the matchup we wanted. This is the matchup that was robbed from us in the regular season, and we get it for the national championship. Gonzaga, Baylor, last game of the season. Who's taking home the national championship? And it was no doubt from the start of tip-off who was the best team in college basketball. The best team in college basketball is that team down in Waco, Texas. The home of RG3. The home of Brittany Griner, who led her team to a national championship when she was down there. The Baylor Bears, after 40 plus years of winning a national title, won in dominant fashion over Gonzaga. 86-70. The Baylor Bears, stifling defense, all around playmakers, was just too much for Mark Few and his ball club. I mean, what a game. Baylor jumped out to a 9-0 lead. The lead eventually went up to 19 before Gonzaga cut it down to 10 at halftime. At halftime, it was 47-37 at halftime. And yet, Gonzaga couldn't get no closer than 9 points. They couldn't get no closer to Baylor than 9 points. And they ended up losing by 16. Dominant performance by Baylor. Their defense, suffocating defense, suffocated Gonzaga. Andrew Nembhard still can't handle pressure, I see. You left Florida to go to a championship team, but you bought the same problem that you had at Florida with you at Gonzaga, and it showed. Because when Baylor was up on him, he just lost the ball. Turnover. Suggs got a turnover. Times got turnovers. That defense was suffocating. You can't ask to play better defense than what Baylor did. And then on the offensive end, Butler again, 22 points. And he had 7 assists. Suggs had 22 points as well, but when you're Baylor and you get 22 from Butler, you get 15 from Mitchell, you get 19 from Teague, you get 13 from Flagler off the bench. There's nothing you can do. Vital had 11 rebounds. Round amount of rebound, he out of lot Charles Barkley, and he was on the board. He had about 6 of them on the offensive rebound. Out of his 11 rebounds, he had 8 on the offensive glass. 8 of his 11 rebounds came on the offensive end. Vital was inside dominating on the boards. I mean, you hate to see it, but Times only had 12. Kespick only had 12. Nembhard only had 9. Ajayi only had 8 after he come off hitting 22 points in that Final Four matchup with UCLA, his career high. I mean, Suggs, 22, as I said. The other people that you were looking for, they couldn't do it. They could not do it. Kespick, your 3-point shooter, 2 for 7 from 3. 5 for 12 from the field. Can't cut it. That won't do it. This Baylor defense was something else. It was truly something else. And, you know, Butler got our most outstanding player. You can't deny what he had did. Once it got down to the Elite 8 and the Final Four in that championship, Butler came alive. Butler came alive like he did at the beginning. This Baylor team that you saw last night was the Baylor team that we seen at the beginning of the season before COVID hit. It took them a while to get this up out of because they was off for 3 weeks. And within that 3 weeks, it was Gonzaga in there. So within that 3 weeks, all the games that got canceled, it was Gonzaga game that got canceled. So we was hoping that we got this matchup for the national championship. And we got it. And just Baylor just suffocated. Baylor, it was just too much. It was just too much. Shout out to Scott King, man. I agree with Jim and said. One of the best turnarounds. He said in college basketball, I'm about to go out far and say this is one of the best turnarounds in sports history. He took Baylor, who was down in the dumps of college basketball. When did Scott Drew take the job? Scott Drew took the Baylor job in what, 2000 and... Because this is a remarkable job Scott Drew has done. 2003, he took the job from Baylor. And we get to 2021. Scott Drew has brought Baylor into the round of top-notch teams. 2 years ago, that was good. They just didn't make it all the way. Last year, they was the best team in college basketball. We didn't have no tournament. This year, they looked good again. And they shown they was the best team in college basketball. What a turnaround. Because when he took over Baylor, Baylor was in the dumpster. Baylor was in the dumpster when he took over. Like, you can't tell me. Because he took over a team that was just in the dumpster. Literally in the dumpster. You didn't even know Baylor had a basketball team. That's how bad in the dumpster they was. Look at this. 8-21 record in 03-04. 9-19 in 04-05. 4-13 in 05-06. We just talking conference records here. This is just the conference record. And it's around 2011, you start seeing improvement. Okay, 18-13. They started 17-0 in 2011-2012. 23-14, 12-13. 26-12, 13-14 season. 24-10 in the 2015 season. You see the build. To the point where we at now. The Baylor Bears are national champions. They joined Brittany Griner and the Lady Bears, who had done it a few years ago, to win national championships. Baylor basketball is here. Baylor basketball is here. Shout out to Scott Drew. Shout out to the Baylor team. Well deserved, well earned. Can't say enough of what Scott Drew has done. And it's heartbreaking for Mark Few and Gonzaga, because Mark Few has been at Gonzaga for 20 years. He has had some great teams. But he just can't get over that hump. Maybe it is the conference, because he is in the West Coast Conference. And you don't get competition like Baylor gets competition in the Big 12. I mean, when you're in the Big 12, you're dealing with Oklahoma, Kansas, Texas. Texas has been good, but now Chris Beard's over at Texas now. We'll see how they're ready to look in that season. Press Virginia with Bob Huggins. And then whoever they choose to pick in the SEC or the Big 12 SEC Challenge. I mean, you have competition when you in the Big 12. West Coast Conference is getting better. No doubt. BYU, St. Mary's, Pepperdine every now and then. But it's not the level of competition when it's like in the Big 12. Or in these tournaments when you meet in Ohio State or Michigan. Or you take on North Carolina or Duke or Florida State. It's just not that simple and that easy. But I gotta say though, Scott Drew and the Baylor Bears did a remarkable job. Mark Few has done a remarkable job at Gonzaga, 20 years, and that team is a prominent team. You know the name Gonzaga. One of the team when you think about when you hear college basketball, Gonzaga, because of how good they've been over the years, going right back to Adam Morrison days. We talking about 04 then. What Mark Few has done with Gonzaga. is equally remarkable, but still come up short though. He still came up short. But with all that said, congratulations to the Baylor Bears, national champions. So on the side note, North Carolina has their next head coach. Hubert Davis, the assistant coach under Ward Williams, the former North Carolina Tar Heel himself, will fill the shoes of the great legendary Ward Williams. I must say, might be a good hire. Hubert Davis has never been a head coaching yet, so it'll be good to see how he handles this. Hubert Davis is proud, thankful, humble, and appreciative after being named as Ward Williams' successor. Let's see if Hubert Davis can keep the tradition of North Carolina intact. It's going to be tough. But if anybody can do it, I think Hubert Davis should get the consideration. Nice to see that Hubert Davis is getting his first shot as a head coach. Now, I know I haven't talked a lot of NBA, but I'll get back to that on Friday's edition of Hoops Talk. But I will say this, though, when it comes to NBA. The Brooklyn Nets are on the clock. If they weren't on the clock already, they are definitely on the clock with the name Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, James Harden, Blake Griffin, now Marcus Aldridge, and you still got DeAndre Jordan. You still got Joe Harris. The Brooklyn Nets are on the clock. I was going to say Philly, Boston. Not no more. The Brooklyn Nets are on the clock. You have to win the title, or there'll be a lot of scrutiny coming for you from all directions to have this much talent. You definitely have to get out the East. Anything short of the NBA Finals is crucifixion. Not winning the title is criticism. You don't make it to the NBA Finals, y'all will be crucified. If you make it to the NBA Finals and you lose it, you'll be criticized, and rightfully so. But if you do what you need to do and win the whole thing, that's what we'll expect. So that's all I gotta say on the NBA for right now. But until Friday, this is Hoops Talk with your boy down there, the Playmakerz Silence from Jacksonville, Florida. I'll talk to you guys later on. Thank you guys very much for listening to another week of Hoops Talk. Now, if you want to stay updated on new episodes that's coming up for Hoops Talk, please subscribe to the podcast. And those of you who are listening on iTunes or Apple Podcasts, please leave a rate and review of the podcast. Let us know how we are doing. And for those of you who want to be updated on everything that goes on the Playmakerz blog brand, subscribe to the website, theplaymakerzblog.com. That way you can see every podcast that's under the brand. And you can even get your own Playmakerz blog merch by hitting our shop tab on the website. You'll see our Threadless store and our Spreadshirt store. So get you some Playmakerz blog merch. And don't forget to subscribe to the website to stay updated on everything that goes on the Playmakerz blog brand. As for me, the Playmaker down there, Silence, I'm signing off until next week for more Hoops Talk.